What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And in this video, we're also going to cover a little bit of Dragon Ball Legends just because I'm like, I'm not going to do a lot of different separate videos. So if you want to click through to the Dragon Ball Legends news, feel free to do so. Otherwise, we're going to talk about Dokkan first. As you see, we have Android 21 coming. So first, that's our SSR over here in the far left corner. Also from there, that's her UR below, and then her transformation as far as that's concerned. I would have personally liked for the first one to be, the redheaded one, but okay, cool, whatever. The cool thing about this is this opens up a lot of possibility. I don't know if Dokkan would be inclined, or not even just Dokkan, if Legends would be inclined to do it, especially right now, because I mean they are technically kind of like competitors. They're neither version of the games, basically like Dragon Ball Media, is not gonna kill the other one. It's just not happening. Like Dokkan's still doing really well. It always has been. Not anytime soon anyway, right? And Legends is still on the come up. It's still trying to do better, but as far as that's concerned, this is cool because it opens the possibility, again, for more original characters such as Shallot and maybe even a few other original characters from Legends to make their way into Dokkan at some point. So I would really like that. That would be really, really awesome because we know Legends basically has access to just about everything. I don't know how Legends will handle this type of crossover thing. And it's not the first time that Dokkan has done crossovers between other Dragon Ball games, not even just to mention the fact that they've done a One Piece Treasure Cruise crossover in the past. But it's not the first time they've done a crossover between other Dragon Ball games, because technically the Dragon Ball Heroes crossovers are, crossovers between that type of game, which is probably the reason why Global just never got that stuff, because we don't have Dragon Ball Heroes out here as of now. There were a few things saying that we might get it. I didn't really report on that, but nonetheless, otherwise, we have had Dragon Ball Fusions as a crossover between Global and JP as another game that we've pulled original characters from, like Tekka and Penich. So this is awesome. So anyways, small rant aside, I actually went over this forever ago. That's what was really funny about this. I started campaigning for an Android team. You see, over a month ago, on May 28th is when I first released my video, but I was campaigning prior to that because Super 17 is now the only 120% leader to this moment that does not have a category in the game. So with Android 21, we will be getting that assuredly. So there's nothing going on with this Goku. He's not Dokkan Awakening, if you're wondering. They're just talking about super attacks. I believe that's what some people were saying. So here's the translation for the Goku here. I have that right here, courtesy of the Reddit. It looks weird. I don't really like the new Reddit. But anyways, Android 21, reckless appetite confirmed for the next Dokkan Fest that Dokkan awakens into TUR. Android 21, ferocious predatory impulse. That's a pretty cool name. During battle, when conditions are met, absorb cell and transform into evil mode that has regenerative capabilities. That is awesome. In addition, there will be a collaboration with Dragon Ball FighterZ set to begin in August that will introduce the Android category. This most likely will be Android 21's leader skill. So, again, they're literally saying there's going to be an Android category due to the collaboration with Dragon Ball FighterZ. Now, Dragon Ball FighterZ is getting some more stuff. Dragon Ball Xenoverse and all that stuff is getting more stuff too. More so Xenoverse picking up Kefla. That might make me want to go back and play, to be honest. But anyways, so again, pretty much she's the 21 category leader without them literally saying it. So I'm hyped for that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you would like to see this video where I literally go over a lot of the units, 13, 14, 15, we're also going to have access to Cell, Mira. We're going to have access to, the regular Android 17 and 18 and 16. Maybe we'll get a new 16 at some point. I think this is probably foreshadowing of an LR Cell too, just because of the fact that they chose that form for the 21 unit as well. I think we're probably going to get an LR Cell, to be honest. And I wouldn't mind that. The Cell and the Cell Junior Squad, wasn't that a legendary election vote option or something like that too? We've basically got a lot of those options since then. But we're probably going to wind up getting something of that nature just because this team doesn't really have access to a lot of stuff like that. And it would basically be one of the worst categories in the game. Since it's going to be very limited, I imagine it's going to be a 170% attack category as well, just because typically when it comes to categories that don't have that many options, they're 150 or above as far as the leader skill attack-wise. So that'll probably be what happens as well, especially because a lot of the androids have a lot of defensive value anyway, particularly 17, for example, Super 17 to be more specific. So moving on to the Dragon Ball Legends side of things, if you just were here for Dokkan, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate the support. And like I said, the link is down below in the description for that Android category video. I implore you to go check that out and see kind of what I was talking about as far as like the team building goes. At the time, Cell did not Extreme Z Awaken, so I might have mentioned that in there. I'm pretty sure I did because I'm typically pretty good about that type of stuff. So, you know, just take it with a grain of salt because we don't know what Android, you know, what she does, 21 does. So anyway, 17 and 18. I figured that this was coming when we saw Juro and 19 or 20 and 19, whatever, make their way into Legends recently. And this is another thing I did a video on, but that wasn't that big of a deal. Like, it wasn't that big of a foreshadow because it was, again, fairly obvious that we were moving into getting these characters next. So, as you see, he has access to a barrier. That's pretty dope. Like, I love that because that's what 17's shtick is anyway. He's got that barrier that he erects, and he's able to have, like, absolute defenses in certain scenarios. And he even takes it further if you want to continue on with that mantra over to what we were kind of just talking about with Super 17 as a unit. You know, he's very, very good defensively as a character in general, excuse me. So, again, not the same continuity, but still kind of the same concept. So, moving on, we have Android 18 down below. Look at the Krillin. I see that. Thought I was not going to see that Krillin. By the way, these arts look amazing. I really like the simplicity of 18, and I really like that they captured her eyes very, very well. Kind of makes her look a little sadistic, but not so much. Like, it looks like, of course, with the 18 and Krillin in the background, looks like these are the, you know, the present timeline versions of them, and they're not the more sadistic of the two. Like, the future timeline ones that killed future Gohan would be the ones that would be the problem. So I wonder if they're going to go ahead and actually introduce those characters at some point as different versions of 17 and 18. I feel like they probably will, just because it's like, it's a Dragon Ball game, it's a gacha game at that. You kind of have to, like, take all those different avenues, right? So as far as the translations go, make sure you do check out the Reddit down below for the Dragon Ball Legends game. We do have those. They were right. I pulled up too much stuff apparently. DbZ had the translations down below. So anyways, thanks you, man. I appreciate it. I woke up and I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I woke up to a lot of different stuff, like basketball stuff, just all types of stuff, man. So 17 has a barrier and his extra key, which can nullify attacks. It can break combos. Then he's instantly top tier. Oh, if it can break metal. Yeah, so if this man can mid combo pop this off, he's going to be one of the best characters in the game, no doubt about it. Unfortunately, when it comes to Dragon Ball Legends, there is a cooldown period for the units to be able to do anything. And what I mean by that is not so much the key or like the card access, not that type of, but mid combo. There's not a lot of opportunity, and this is something I've not really been a fan of. I don't really care if there's a block button personally, but you'll see your character get knocked way back mid combo. They'll recover. You'll see the exclamation mark, you know, pop in, but you can't actually swipe out of the combo mid combo. So, like, it's just a timing thing that they need to get adjusted in the game. I don't know why. If you're what's the point of even showing me that if there's no way to actually get out? But if mid-combo, he had the ability to, like, use a card or something, then that would be busted. Like, for example, Android 19 and 20, they had access to absorbing key. I thought on paper that was a really, really, really good ability until I kind of saw how they handled it. I think it's pretty clutch in a lot of scenarios, but I don't think it's that great in the game. So we'll see what happens. I guess it makes sense because they didn't want to make that too OP in a game like this because that had a lot of opportunity to be really OP. So if he's able to do that, which I don't think he will, by the way, I don't think he'd be able to do that. He'd be really, really good. You know, if he was able to erect this barrier at any moment, that's too much free access to this unit. I don't think that's going to be a thing, to be honest. Impersonally, in my opinion. But if he's able to do it, you know, to avoid taking a long-range key-based attack, that's still freaking top tier. You know what I'm saying? Like, things of that nature. So, he specializes in defense and blast attacks. So, he's either going to be a range type or a defensive type that is able to have a lot of viability with his blast attack, which will probably be most likely the scenario. 17 synergizes with Ginyu because he can increase the chance to draw green cards. Oh, snap. His green card, by the way, is the way that he's able to use the barrier. So he has access to holding one of the green cards, just like Ginyu. They're the only characters in the game that hold those types of cards, I believe. Assuming that the new characters that just got pushed through yesterday don't have it. And then with Ginyu, there could be scenarios where you have 2 or 3 green cards with you at one time. That's really, really good defensively. That's probably too defensive, but it's an example. You'll have a lot, because just with Ginyu by himself, there are times I have multiple green cards in my hand. So we'll see what happens. 18 has high key recovery speed and strike attack. So she is the direct opposite. She wants to be melee, melee, melee all the way through, and high key restore speed kind of allows her to spam that type of stuff. I imagine that just these two characters should have high key restore speed, because technically the equivalent to that in the manga, or not even in the manga, but just the series in general, would be the fact that these guys have infinite energy. So, like, come on, they shouldn't have to charge key. So, what's up? They should have really high natural key restore speed. And the thing about key restore speed is I think it's been devalued heavily by the game. In the area where they did the update where you stop restoring speed during movement, like if you're dashing forward, you no longer recover key, you no longer recover cards. If you're, dishing out damage, you no longer recover those things and things of that nature. I think it's been devalued, but I also think it's been valued more in essence when you're stagnant, because you don't necessarily have to sit there and tap and hold to actually charge if the character has good key restore speed. Of course, if you were to do that, they would restore really, really fast anyway. But otherwise, I think that in that scenario, it's really good. But especially if they have abilities that kind of limit your opponent as well in terms of key restore speed, that is a net gain for that character. So she also has an ultimate arts card. So I'm assuming that means that she's one of the characters you can tap on their main ability and get that 20 cost ultimate card. That's pretty awesome, actually. And if she does it looks like it's right here. And if you're wondering why there's a Pan there, it's just because Pan is finally going to have a unit that she can buff with her stupid Z ability. Like, I really hate that Pan Z ability for the team that she would be on. I believe it's a strike attack increase to female warriors. But, like, Pan is supposed to be on Hybrid Saiyans, and that literally does nothing for anybody but herself on a team that kind of really would like that just as a general Hybrid Saiyan stack buff. So that's pretty interesting anyway. She also synergizes with Pan because of Pan's Z ability. Yep, there it is. So that's how that breaks down. I like it. I like it a lot. I really do think that as far as these two are concerned, I don't think they're going to be as crazy good. Like, I really think that the new 3 characters we have in the game right now are crazy good. Like, particularly Cooler and Goku. I'm not as high on Turles personally right now, just because a lot of what he does seems kind of related to luck. But particularly Cooler and Goku, I think they actually have a very good chance of impacting the game in a really weird way. Like, being very, very meta-defining or just flat-out flopping and not being that good. They have a really good chance to swing either way, so that's something that I'm very interested in nonetheless. So as far as that's concerned, I'm very excited for these characters, and more so I'm excited for the Android category team, not category team, too much Dokkan, but the Android team, just because they do have the Z abilities and stuff, and if these characters are buffing up that, we'll be good from there. And the thing about Z abilities is we've seen a trend where they're giving the characters access to buffing up a monocolor like yellow or red or things like that, but they're stacking it with 2 stats, like base blast attack and base strike attack together get a stat boost, which is weird but also versatile. And when it comes to a team like this that wants to have the units in a lot of different positions and just have the viability of having everybody receive those types of buff, I don't really think you would want in general too many of those types of units that singularly buff themselves essentially, unless there's another unit on the team that would have the same color, which kind of defeats the purpose. But nonetheless, defeats the purpose of having a versatile team when you don't have very many options, to clarify. But nonetheless, I think that they're going to probably wind up having that type of Z ability. One of them at least, where it's the mono one. Maybe even both. But I really hope not. So anyways, hope you all enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new for more content. And yeah, so all this stuff comes out next month. If you're wondering, I didn't say it earlier, but Dokkan stuff comes out next month if you're still here. The Android 17 and 18 next month too. So all this Android stuff going on. So that's pretty awesome. So have an awesome day. I'll catch you all in the next Dragon Ball Z video. Take it easy.